People are talking about apparently 8 stalkers appearing outside waiting for the BTS members, waiting for RM, waiting for V, and that is very scary. People are talking about how RM was being mass unfollowed and banned after his alleged smoking video, and then we have RM seen to be cursing. So dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Let's get into it. People were laughing over a video that RM was seen cursing after he was seemingly at some sort of sport event. He was sitting next to V, and many people assumed that this was probably J-Hope's last concert, and he was just chatting with V until it appeared as if something landed on his hand. He then shook his hand really hard, and people believe he yelled out the Korean word for the F word. A lot of people thought this was cute, a lot of people thought this was very funny, and of course, a natural reaction. This was likely either a fly or a mosquito, but the look of his reaction, it likely was a mosquito, and he wanted that thing off of him. He seemingly flicked it off of him. We have no idea what it was, right? It could be bird poop, and he was having a reaction like that. But obviously, if he was to flick bird poop, I would imagine that the people sitting below him would not enjoy that. And a little side note, this is something that I've wondered for a really long time, because RM speaks fluently in both languages. But if you were to speak English and something like this were to happen, would you just curse in English, or would you revert back to Korean and start cursing? Because while I definitely speak multiple languages, even if I was speaking Chinese, I would likely still maybe not go back to English when saying, oh, something landed on me or something. So there were definitely some people who thought that he was speaking English and then he reverted to Korean, but he was talking to V, so he likely was speaking Korean. These are moments that the community loves to see because these are moments that make the boys look human. They make the boys look very natural. These are all reactions that all of us have, and it's cool to see that our boys have human reactions, right? And this is also one of those moments where the community just gets shocked by any little thing that the BTS members do. I mean, there are whole communities dedicated to the fact that they're shocked when they see the BTS members curse. But if you were to go back to their debut days or their pre-debut days and some of the footage that comes out from there, they cursed a lot. BTS has never made music for kids. Even when their audience transitioned to a very younger group of people, their music was never for kids. They made music talking about self-infliction, if you will. They made music talking about domestic abuse. And so when you see someone making art like that, why is cursing or even getting tattoos, what about that is so shocking to people? Genuine question, because the reason why I care so much about this and why we should care so much about this is because it then becomes a scandal when the boys curse or when they do something that is seen as not children friendly. They're attacked and hurt because they're not doing something that's kid friendly. But since when have they ever? So if you like it, definitely spread the word, let people know that it's okay, and tell them to stop freaking out about cursing and tattoos, because it's definitely nothing to freak out about. But a lot of people were definitely freaking out about just how this video came to be and if it was someone stalking both RM and V or whatever it was. However, if this was a concert or a public situation, then anyone can record and it's pretty much fair game. I mean, a lot of concerts kind of forbid phones from entering, and if phones are still in the people's possession, then the BTS members should be very much aware that they could end up on social media tomorrow for being there. And of course, while I don't believe that that is an actual stalking behavior, what I do believe is stalking behavior is the general situation with the BTS boys coming out of the military. This particular clip that came out was very shocking to people, as it showed about 8 people dressed in all black, all covered up with face masks and a hat on, waiting outside what appears to be the military. Now, if you take it from the 9th and when this picture was posted, then we can assume that this was around the time that Jimin and JK, as well as RM and V, were coming out of the military. So many assumed that they were likely waiting for either one of those or all of them. A lot of people were also saying that it was even more shady because they knew that they were doing something wrong, allegedly because they covered themselves up to the point where you can't even see their faces at all. Alongside this, many believe that there was a Brazilian flag that was seen in the background, and many believe that those people could have flown from Brazil, and if they did, then this is obviously even more wrong and it adds layers to it. However, we don't know who the flag belongs to, so we can't say. The first thing I thought of when I saw this was, oh my god, they must be hot. Like June 9th or whatever is still summer, and it's probably not that cool over there, and they're just sitting out like waiting for hours to just get a view of the boys, but also knowing that they likely wouldn't be able to interact with the boys in any way. So I don't really know what the point of that was. And then also just to spend thousands of dollars just to go there and wait. I mean, did they really just go for this and then hop back on a plane, or are they coming and waiting for hours and then going back to their hotel hotel and then leaving the next day. But either way, this is hundreds or thousands of dollars just to spend to literally see the boys. I mean, I can go on Twitter and just literally see them from all the news sites, and they're just camping outside. Seeing the BTS boys in person changes nothing for me in this case. They're not interacting with me. It's not like I get anything really from that. And this is why I say that sometimes people are a little bit insane, because money is hard to come by in general, but it's hard to come by especially nowadays. Grocery prices are going up, everything's going up. To spend your hard-earned money on this is crazy. Many people believe that this could be a sign of stalkers trying to take action or hurt the boys, like waiting for the boys to come out and then charge right up at them. But I will say good luck to anyone who does this, not only because the boys obviously at this point coming out of the military can fight and are very good at fighting, but because there are so many people in the crowd, I don't think they would get very far without someone stopping them. The chances of the BTS boys going upright against the gate that we are seeing is going to be pretty low. And we see the stalkers are hanging out right in front of the gate. So there would likely be a crowd of people either in front of the stalkers or near them, to the point that if someone like the stalkers were pushing through the charge at BTS, people in the crowd would likely stop them. And best believe if they're coming out of the military and there's press, then the label knows that fans are going to be there too, and that they would likely prepare some bodyguards or someone with guns to be there. So coming from allegedly Brazil just to get a bullet through you is crazy. However, this isn't the only stalker thing that has come out recently, as some people have reported that RM was seen holding a cigarette outside someplace. This could be his hotel, this could be a work thing that he was doing, whatever it is. People were definitely very shocked that he was holding a cigarette. It allegedly appeared as if he saw the camera and looked right at it, so he was probably very aware of what was happening and that this would likely end up all over the internet. Now, the majority of people who were talking about this or pushing it or promoting it online were not necessarily upset that he was smoking. In general, it seemed more people were just upset that the stalkers were posting this. Now, I will say something that I've seen happen over and over again is people usually are upset over the fact that there is a smoking thing going on and all that stuff, but they just don't want more people to get upset. So what they do is they literally just say, oh, this is stalker footage, get rid of it, because it's a way for the content to be stopped circulating. However, I think that this is a crazy way to get people to delete it, because why isn't just asking people to delete the video enough to just get people to delete it? Because if they care that it's a stalker video of RM circulating, then why would they not be angry that the clip is circulating in general? So saying it's stalker footage isn't going to get them to take it down, but it might get them more hate. However, if it was RM, then he was smoking in public, and it is a public space, and people are allowed to record. So I definitely disagree with the fact that I think people are trying to stalk him to get a scandal, or that people are trying to find him doing something wrong. That definitely is upsetting, but I don't know if they were doing that, or if it was more so people just trying to catch him doing something bad. Because I think in Switzerland or something like that, like where the Art Basel thing is, likely where he is, that would not be a private activity that he's doing, but definitely a work-related one. So it's not that people are following him around, it's that people know his very public schedule that is posted everywhere. So it's not stalkers, because stalkers would imply you're invading a private space, and I don't think they are. And so over there, smoking is also obviously not seen as a big deal, just like most European countries. Like everyone in Paris smokes, for example, right? So they probably aren't trying to catch him and get him into a scandal, but they're more so trying to just catch him in general. So they're like, oh, that's him, let me get a video of him. And that's probably what they're doing. And so I don't know if this is necessarily a malicious thing. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thank you to this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.